girls in the club, they getting wild for me. And all the pretty chicks all wanna smile at me. These rap cats, man, they all got this out for me. And if I ever see them, man, they probably bow to me. And when this beat drop, I know they gon' lean. World debut, I know they gon' fame. Everything, Mississippi to the Palm Springs. Girls from brunettes down to blonde queens. These young boys don't know what a dawn means. I'm just a bad.
Welcome back, Chuck. What's going on, man? How you feel?
Hey, fellas, what's good, man? Y'all miss me?
Of course, man. Of course. You know how we do.
Let's get it.
Salute, my G. Salute.
Yes. Glad you're feeling better, man.
I'm feeling spectacular, bro.
I hear all right.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Welcome to Sparring Minds, y'all. Episode 11?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'm Hightower.
Okay.
Sam Little, Mr. Maritime.
The chef, Mr. Main Topic.
You already know, man. Charlie Hustle, Charles Jones.
Yes. Glad to have the homie back, man.
Yes, sir. Let's get it, man. I feel great.
How's everybody feeling? Besides Chuck, he say he's great.
It's Taco Tuesday, man.
All right.
Feeling great. Taco Tuesday. Feeling great.
Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo.
Man, I don't have any of that going on.
Got the tacos.
Right, I think my daughter's making some quesadillas or something, but other than that, it's just May 5th over here, man. No love.
None. Corona's knocked out Cinco de Mayo, huh?
Yeah, man. I might make a drink or something later, but that might be it.
Yeah. Wifey was already on the tacos. She got the margaritas out. So I'm on my second joint right now. So, we lit over here.
She got that twinkle in her eye, man. She ready.
Oh, shit.
You was out of commission
the other day, hurry up and stop being sick. I'm like, damn, yo.
See? You were sick. Now she got you better now, right?
Come on, man.
Again.
Word up.
So what we got going on today, y'all?
Slow day.
Yeah.
Might get heavy in here today.
Yeah, we got a good one lined up, so I'm excited about it, man.
Before we get into the topic, man, what's up with these brackets?
Oh, shit.
I'm winning.
This might be the only song you're going to win, Little.
About time. About time.
That nigga barely got made out the first round last time. Now all of a sudden he's excited.
Yeah, this time I said I'm not giving you guys no mercy this time. So,
Oh boy, it's gonna be a long week, man.
Yeah.
Terrible.
So just to recap that real quick, we had Drew Hill versus Tony Braxton, and it's like 75-8.
Yeah, that's not good looking good.
Yeah, and there was one point recently where she had no votes, though. No votes at all. It was bad. So Drew Hill will move on there. And the second joint, we had Darnell Jones beating Boys to Men, and that one's ugly too. It's like 88, something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know what's up with these early rounds, man. Once again, you know what? Once again, I'll blame it on the fans, bro. The people who's tuning in, people who's clicking the poll. If you don't know what you're doing, like I said, if you don't, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Just say, you know what, Chuck, I'm going to skip this poll. That's okay. We don't judge you for that. But for you to come on here and pick the wrong song, everyone, the whole integrity of the poll, B. Leave it alone. Or ask me. Inbox me, man. I'll help you out.
Don't inbox him. He going to help you.
No, it's horrible.
Got some good ones lined up for the next for today, so we should be good right there.
Oh yeah.
So we'll get those up at noon, right?
For sure.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Y'all
So,
get them votes up.
Since we're all quarantined, man, we got to figure out a way to help these folks out here who are trying to get back into the dating scene. I mean, we're all out the game, but it's even ugly for those who are still in the game. Especially since they can't go nowhere.
Yo, I'm so grateful I'm out that game, man. Y'all can have it.
Yeah, you're lucky. You're very lucky.
So how y'all want to lead into that?
Jeff, what you got?
Chef laughing. He got something.
Yeah, he do.
Oh man, you know, kind of playing into the verbs of since we had the last dance and all that stuff going on with the Bulls and everything.
Mhm.
You know, and there was some deals that were done or weren't done or should have been done. You know what I mean? So I guess one of the topics that we're looking into today, man, is deal breakers. You know what I mean?
Baby.
Like
Oh,
deal breakers, man.
That's a good
Like we all got them. Everybody has a deal breaker. You know what I'm saying? Some more than others. Some are deeper than others. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's just, you know, to each his own with your deal breaker. It's with anybody. Anybody could have like certain things where they're just like, you know what, man, listen, she ain't responsible with money. I'm not with that right there. I already know that's not gonna be for me. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, it's a couple things. So I don't want to talk too much about it. We want to shoot it around the room. So we're gonna start first with my brother, Mr. Miratime, SL. Deal breakers.
Deal breaker. Big deal breaker for me, someone not willing to compromise. Always seeing things their way. You know, Chuck, you know a lot about that. You're one of those people. Just
Oh shit. Damn.
And we're welcome back to this shit, right? That's what we doing.
Damn.
For the jugular.
I'm just saying, you know. I mean, how would y'all feel? I mean, someone that's always just there's no compromise with them.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't figure that's a big deal breaker?
Yeah. I think that's women, though, isn't it?
You passing it to height?
I don't know. I don't know if it's a deal breaker.
I mean, yeah. Let height. I mean, you know, that's my deal breaker. I mean, how you feel about that?
I mean, I get it. You got to be able to compromise. But I mean, for me, I wouldn't know how much she would compromise on the early going. I think for me, and before I even get to that point, I got to know that she can, that she's reliable, or, you know, I don't know, she can, you know, I don't want to say independent because that comes across as not needing me, but, you know, she can hold her own.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just in the no stage, but it gets deeper, man. Like, if I really like her and if I want to pursue her and do more with her, that list gets a lot longer of what I would want to tolerate and not tolerate. But before I get too deep into that, man, I gotta hear from Chuck and Maine on what their initial deal breakers.
Yeah, let's keep passing.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm gonna sound like the bad guy. I swear to God, y'all try to paint me as the bad guy on this show, and I'm really not. Like, but I think for me, a woman with kids is a deal breaker. You know what I mean? I think one of the problems that you have with dealing with women, and that number is super high nowadays, right? One of the problems that you have with dealing with women and with children is that you're never going to be a top priority in their life, right? So in my world, it's very important that my partner is my top priority and vice versa. In the case where women has the kids before you got there, they're always, and probably rightfully so, always going to be higher than you on that totem pole. And that doesn't work for me in my world. Like, I want to be important. I want to be the numero uno in the same regard that that I place her. And since she's not going to be able to match that, it's a deal breaker. So I know going in, if a woman has children and we're talking, she's just going to be a fuck buddy, and that's it. We can't even do anything else outside of that because we're going to butt heads or something. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, Thursday night is our night to go, whatever. She's like, nah, Junior got kickball. And then I'm like, yo, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? So I need to be a top priority. If she has kids, I can't be a top priority. I know I sound like a bad guy. I know they're going to cook me in the comments.
Oh, yeah, you sound selfish.
Little just said you don't compromise.
Nah, I'm telling you.
Straight up. Yeah, straight. Right.
That's my guy for
Just said it.
Right.
That's my guy for over 20 years. I already know.
I just think our relationship, me and her, we gotta be more important than anything else. And I know up front, and kudos to that woman. I you know, it's a tough spot for her to be in, so I won't put her in that spot to have to deal with those kind of button heads. So that's
Now,
that's the top one, man. What you got?
So, question: do you feel like that even if you're in a situation where you're coming into that relationship with a kid, you don't want her, or is you saying both of y'all have no, or you don't have a kid but she does, so that's the deal breaker?
So, man, you know I never speak of the reverse gender situations. You dig?
I was just curious. I was just curious.
Listen, what a man does, what a man brings into a situation, is a completely different situation than what a woman brings into.
All right, okay. Just so we clear.
So yeah, I mean, in my personal life, like I brought kids into the relationship. You know what I mean? And, you know, but that's a different conversation. We'll deal with that when that conversation comes up.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Jeez.
I'm just saying, only when it's in your favor. Is it okay for it to be that way? All right.
Let's take the heat a little bit off Chuck right now. Let's take the heat off Chuck and let's go to you, man. What do you feel?
I like that idea.
Let's take the heat off.
Nah, definitely, yeah. Something like that's definitely not a deal breaker for me. Obviously, I mean, you know what I'm saying, I have a kid, and you know what I mean, like my lady now, she had 2 kids before I got there, so that's not a problem for, you know what I'm saying, and because I have one, that's why I definitely couldn't be on that kind of thing right there. Particular deal breaker for me, so I won't say the fact that if you can't cook, that's cool, right? If you can't cook, that's cool. But if you're not even showing a willingness to either learn or want to, in the fact that I cook, and if you're like on some, hey, you know, let's go in the kitchen, or you're in the kitchen while I'm in there doing something like that. So I won't say cooking is a deal breaker, but I want at least a willingness to want to learn that part of it. You know what I'm saying? Just don't assume just because I cook that I always want to, right? And then, you know what I'm saying, like, learn from me, so I don't want you to feel like you're pressured if you're like, well, I don't want to cook for you because you cook and all you're going to do is like, no. But if you're showing a willingness to want to learn that and be like, hey, let's do it together. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that type of stuff right there. Yeah, if you're not willing to do that, so I guess I could say maybe Sammy's point to the degree of compromising about something like that. If you're not willing to compromise for something like that, then no, because I want you to be able, because I may need you to help me out. Again, I have business. I may need you to help me out, do something. Hey, could you season the chicken? Yo, could you, you know what I mean? If you're not having the willingness to show that part, take initiative or whatever, then yes. So if you lack initiative or stuff like that, that could be a deal breaker for me.
Let me ask a question real quick, because I know the 3 of you guys are the main cooks in your household, right? So, speaking from the point of view of the individual who's not the main cook in the household, there's a certain bar or level that you guys establish in terms of having meals for the household, right? They're always seasoned a certain way, they're always done and prepared a certain way, always marinating, or all the kind of different things that are done that you guys are familiar with being in that role, right? So for me, not being in that role, it's a scary proposition for me to now enter that role and not do it up to your expectation. You see what I'm saying? So I kind of understand where there might be some trouble from that individual on that side of the field.
Sometimes the expectation is just you just even taking the attempt to try to do it. Like, yeah, your cooking may suck, but at least you try to do it. You know, after we throw away your little shit, then we can go order something else. You know,
nah, but see, nobody wants to be see y'all laughing at the joke, right? But nobody wants to walk through that embarrassment. And so I can understand when somebody's like, yo, nah, you got it. You know what I mean? Like in my crib, I do very little of the cooking. Very little. And so I've established the rule with my lady a long time ago, right? So you cook for the most part. That's dope. Salute to you. I love you for that. And for those nights you're not in the mood to cook, let's go some takeout. we'll go get some. But you don't got to cook every night. But for the times we do cook here, that's on you. So I try to balance it out so where she's not in there all the time. You know what I mean? I want to respect what she's doing. But I know that me getting in there, now I got to measure up to what she does, and that's tough, man.
No, I don't look at it like that. I don't.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't either.
And just to clarify, I'm not the main cook in the house. It's probably 70-30, my wife.
Oh, really?
Maybe 60-40. But if I'm not cooking, I'm, definitely providing dinner in some way, shape, or form. But I was thrust into cooking when my wife was going to school in the evening. So I had no choice but to get it together. But now that she's back home in the evenings, it's like, all right, you're home. Go ahead and get busy. But I understand sometimes she's tired from work, and I get it. So I try to jump in every now and then and take it off her hands. But I definitely want to look at it. I didn't look at it that way, like my cooking doesn't measure up to hers. I mean, sometimes I might make a dish that might blow hers out the water, but that's just the nature of the game. Like, it's not a competition, but we want to eat good, and we've always established eating good. So, I don't swing for singles and doubles, man. When I'm going in the kitchen, I'm going for the fences. And wifey knows. So like, I don't got to cook every day, but the one time I do, it might make up for the days I don't. So, but I don't look at it as a competition or any of that, man. I just step in when I need to.
So it's not a deal breaker for y'all, obviously.
No.
As long as I got money in my pocket, I can provide dinner. It don't matter who cooked.
Right. It shouldn't be looked. Just to me, it shouldn't be looked at it like a competition. Again, my thing is just taking the initiative to be like, to either have a willingness to learn or to at least attempt to do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you do that, I may just provide some information or guidance or just something, a tip or something, you know what I'm saying, that can help you out. You know what I mean? But just be willing to just take that initiative. You know what I'm saying? So, but I guess for men and women in that situation, it might be different. You know what I mean? As to why you may feel that way, my brother. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to live up to the standards, man. But I promise you, if you took the initiative to at least show or attempt to something, you know what I mean? She might look like, wow, okay, just the fact that you made the attempt. But you just be like, you know what? Nah, you got that, mama. You did your thing. I'm going to fall back. I got the sporting game on Smash.
Thought that counts.
It's the thought, bro.
I guess I'm cut from an older cloth. You see what I'm saying? Where like my pops wasn't in there cooking. You see what I'm saying? Like my uncles wasn't in there cooking dinner for the most part. Like they got a woman that was brought up a certain way. They took care of their man. That's what I was brought up in. So like I said, I get in there every now and then when I'm in the mood to create something, and we enjoy those moments. But it's not the foundation of our household. I'm definitely from that older school.
Yeah.
It was a little different in my household. Before separation and everything, my pops did cooking. I mean,
really?
Yeah, because my grandmother had boys before she had girls. So the boys did all the chores, from the outside stuff to the inside cooking and stuff. So on both sides of the family, there's guys that, cook. So I learned from that.
No.
When my mom was at work and, it was just me, then that's when I had to learn how to do all that stuff. So it's I guess it's different for everybody.
Aunt will tell you,
they came up.
Aunt will tell you, because I knew Aunt when I was 15. I grew up on cereal. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's what it was. Like, I wasn't cooking nothing. Like, that's not what it was. You know what I mean? So for me, in this conversation, it's legit a deal breaker for me. Like, if you can't cook, it's a deal breaker. Like, we can't move on.
I respect it.
Yeah. So what other deal breakers are out there?
I learned with cooking because my mom was working. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like stuff like that. So that's why being in the house, you kind of have to, okay, all right, cool, figure it out kind of some way, somehow. But I also wanted to cook because I love to swim, and swimming made you hungry. So that was one reason that drew me to cooking. I used to go to the Boys and Girls Club in Roxbury. Let me just say that. I used to go to in Roxbury, And yeah, they had a cooking class. I used to come out of the class. I was hungry, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, man, this is smelling good over here. All right, let me get into this place. And next thing you know, that's spawned my love of cooking. And it was out of a necessity of being hungry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, not really for a love of it, but I'm like, oh, okay, let me see what's going on in here. Oh, I just happened to like it when I got involved in it, and everything kind of, you know what I mean, kind of spiraled off. But again, before that, it was being home. My mom had to work. Hey, I'm going to show you how to do this, that, and the third, little something. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I got it kind of honest early.
All right.
All right.
What other deal breakers do we got out there besides it?
Well, Sammy, did you talk about kids being a deal breaker for you?
Kids being no.
Yeah, not for me
I've
either.
been in relationships before where, you know, they've had a kid. Nah, that's not a deal breaker. I mean, you know, I can't, you know, I mean, I have kids. My oldest being 22. Like, you know, what I look like having a kid, complaining that she has a kid, and nah, I can't do that. I can't be contradictory.
So you're okay with never being the most important person in her life?
Cut that out. Cut that out. That's selfish talk. That's selfish talk.
I don't know why that's selfish.
That's selfish talk. That's selfish talk.
So down the line, we're gonna have the conversation of who's more important, your mother, your daughter, or your, you know, we're gonna have that conversation, right? And when we have that conversation, I'm going to say to you that your wife should lead that conversation. That's what I'm gonna say to you when we have that conversation. Because my wife is above everything. My wife, I chose to be with, and I chose to be with her forever, and I told God I was gonna be with her forever. That's the top of my food chain. You see what I'm saying? My kids, my role and responsibility is to raise them and allow them to, you know, give them all the information they can to be dope adults. That's my job. That's just temporary. At 18, 19, 20, they're going to live their own life. They don't need dad's, you know, hand and everything. They don't need, you know, they don't necessarily need dad's opinion. They're going to rock out and do their own thing. My wife is the top of the food chain. And I take that seriously up front when I'm choosing them.
Uh-huh.
You saying single moms can't do that either?
I can't speak from the perspective of single mothers because I don't know. We speak about very specific gender topics. We don't.
All right,
we don't delve.
All right, fellas. So we you know, we went over my deal breaker. You know, the compromise and whatnot. What's big deal breaker? Matter of fact, Chuck, do you have a deal breaker? Something real.
I do. No, my kids is a very real deal breaker. That's absolutely the truth. So kids is a deal breaker. Cooking is a deal breaker for me. And then, you know, lastly, and again, I know I'm going to hear a whole bunch of shit off this. The number of sexual partners you have is a deal breaker for me, right? Depending on what that number is, right? If that number is more than a dozen.
But how do you know? But how do you know that?
You ask?
Ask her. I'm going to ask her.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whatever happened to that?
I expect her to ask me that question.
Whatever happened to a clean slate? Nah.
No, I don't.
Nah.
I don't deal with clean slates.
Nah.
No. You know, your sexual experience is like a pane of glass. This is real shit. It's like a pane of glass, and you can get slight cracks in it, and it can be unnoticeable, right? But the more cracks you have in that glass, you know, the more integrity is lost in that pane of glass. You got chicks out here with 1,000 cracks in the glass, B. That ain't my speed. I need some shit that got some integrity to it. That's gonna hold up. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't want to. You know, a dozen, and that's if you super dope. You got to be a brick to get a dozen. Because I'm comfortable around 8, 9.
Hey, yo, what's in that drink?
Yeah.
No shit, brother. No shit. So those are my 3 deal breakers, man. You know?
Okay.
Cooking and sexual partners.
Same thing with you guys.
Roxy Reynolds shit, man. Come on, fellas.
With the partners?
Yeah, I don't know. No, definitely not with the partners. I mean, my deal breaker was, and you know, I was an asshole when I was younger. When I was in the world,
Yeah.
Long time ago.
Long time ago.
We're gonna
I used to be super shallow, and that was always a deal breaker. Like if she didn't look a certain way or carry herself a certain way, she didn't get a second look. Like I had this thing I used to always check for. It was called the was it the 4 Fs or the 5 Fs or something like that. So what was it? It was feet, her face, her figure, and something else. It was nonsense. It worked for me then, but I don't know if I really had one. Like I dated a woman with a kid. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I ever put any deal breakers into practice. I think it would be like it would have to be something that happened that I didn't rock with that made me turn away. But I was always an equal opportunity employer, man.
You dated a woman with a kid, and how'd that turn out? Let me guess. She put the kid before you.
Nah, she didn't do that at all. She didn't do that at all.
Yeah, you just stuck on that.
I think it was her previous relationship prior to me that played a role in us splitting up because she was super possessive and wanted to know who I was with, where I was going, and all this other stuff. And I'm like, where's this coming from? But turns out it was because that's how she was treated previously. So I got the brunt of that on the next one. But other than that, like we were straight. I mean,
we'll dig into that offline.
She did some grimy shit later, but we were already
because she's a female. That's why.
We were already on the outs by then, so it didn't matter.
So let me ask this real quick. So is her financial stability a deal breaker? I'll go to you, Maine, and do a wrap around.
Okay.
It's again, my thing will always be a willingness to, are you if you're not willing to try to make the situation better, you know what I mean? If it's grave and you know what I mean, you want to get it up out of that, my thing will always be like, you got to make it better. So if she's just like, well, fuck it, I don't care about that, blah, blah, then yeah, the fuck out of here. As Chuck would say, get her the fuck out of here. But at least if she's like willing to take an initiative, if it isn't in the best position, to say, you know what, nah, this and the third, I've made a plan, you know what I mean? Like, I'm okay with that right there. So I won't say, again, it's a complete deal breaker, but I'm all back to the initiative of taking it to, are you trying to make the situation right from wrong? You know what I mean? Like, that part will play into it. I won't necessarily say, hey, your financial situation fucked up, so I'm out of here, but I don't know what's going on. I don't know if you're willing to work on it. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened before me. But I know with me now, things are going to change in your life. If you're not willing to make those changes, then listen. As Chuck would say again, get her the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You know what?
That segment too, by the way. We'll talk about that offline.
I did have a deal breaker. I didn't like anybody who smoked cigarettes. I never had.
Yeah.
Never.
Fuck out of here.
Never. Yeah.
Never had.
Gross.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Oh, we finally agree on some shit, huh?
That would be one.
That would absolutely be one. Yeah, that would be one. That would absolutely be like, that's non-negotiable. Yep. Yeah, not feeling squares. Not feeling squares. You know what I mean? You hit the sticky all day, but no. None of those cancer sticks.
That's just gross.
Yeah.
I'm a mile away.
No cigarettes.
I'm trying to think if there was anything else, but I was pretty chill.
Okay. Let me circle this back around real quick then. You meet someone, you know what I'm saying? Super dope, hella, you know what I mean? Crazy, everything is good, everything seems right. But, you know what I'm saying, right now, there's some distance between y'all. Y'all in the same state. You know what I'm saying? Is out of town relationships or long distance relationships are those deal breakers. I will take it up to top. I started down bottom with my man OG Little before, but I'm gonna swing it back to Capo real quick. Capo, long distance relationship, deal breaker or not?
It's probably a deal breaker, and I guess the only delay I would have with that is for how long we're going to be in this kind of situation. Like, is there a transition that we're doing? Am I moving to establish something for us and you're coming in a month? Or is this like, nah, like I live here, you live there? So I guess that'll be the only kind of delay I would have in the conversation. But for the sake of this conversation, I'm saying it's a deal breaker because men need box, right? At the worst case, I need spectacular head. And I can't get that shit with me typing in www. Like, I need you to be sitting right here next to me. That shit don't work when you live 1,000 miles away. So long distance, that's a deal breaker for me. High tall, what you got?
In short, yeah. For some of the same reasons. When I was in school, you know, I had met my wife, then my girl, or then just a girl. And when I realized that she was special, I had to come home. Yeah, I didn't want to risk the long distance, whether it was on my end or her end. But in order for me to build properly, I felt like I needed to be wherever she was at. And so I think for me, a distance would be a deal breaker to some degree.
Oh, I guess it's gonna flip on over to me then. I guess I don't think it's a deal breaker if we're planning on later on doing a little bit more and meeting up somewhere. I mean, you know, because I'm actually in something like that. So, you know, it's tough. You know, it's tough. You know, there's days that you want the person to be there with you and they're not. You know, some people, you know, you get those thoughts. Okay, what's this person doing over here? They're not around me. You know, they may be out there doing this, whatever. But yeah, I mean, if we're trying to get somewhere, we're going to build and we're going to, you know, meet somewhere and, you know, one day move together, then okay. But if I see it's not going anywhere, then it's like, nah, you got to cut it. But I don't think of it as a deal breaker right now. No. So,
man,
me, yeah, like it's probably, again, it's probably a deal breaker for me. You know what I mean? Just because I just want the closeness to me.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, again, it will go back to what everyone else said or alluded to, particularly Sammy with the what are we building towards? What's the goal? But I feel like, you know, you kind of have an idea, you kind of know. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how you met, what was the nature of that relationship, how was it? You know what I'm saying? Was it spontaneous? Like, did you spend a good amount of time like rapping to each other, talking? You know what I'm saying? During that you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but probably just off the rip, the idea of it altogether, just knowing how I am as a person, is absolutely a deal breaker for me. You know what I'm saying? We might be able to be cool, maybe friends, depending on how the vibe was between us at whatever time we, you know what I'm saying, we met or encountered. But definitely, yeah, it's something for me. I'm too touchy-feely to be like, oh no, I can love you from a distance or like you from a distance or whatever the case may be. So yeah, for me, it's a no.
At the end of the day, bro, what separates a relationship? Well, what separates a relationship from a friendship is intimacy. You dig what I'm saying? Like, if there's no intimacy being at least developed, you know, what are we doing here? We're just friends. We online friends. We're phone buddies. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's no intimacy comes when y'all next to each other. When you got those mannerisms, you can magnetize that. Long distance, man, that's a spectacular situation. Like, I don't know how that works. But obviously salute to Sammy's situation. Like I think it's dope what he got going on. Like I wish I nothing but the best. I just know that Charles Jones couldn't do something like that, so it just makes it a better man than me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like anything just has to be a willingness to work. You know what I'm saying? Are you the two people have to be willing to work on it and say, you know what, hey, I'm going to come visit you. I'm going to come visit you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then that's working towards something.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So like, again, like in Sammy's case, he's working towards something. You know what I'm saying? It's not just for the moment for him. It's working with some. So that's different. You know what I mean? Like,
but so to me, intimacy got to be organic. It gotta create itself. I can't get flights to create intimacy. That's chips to me. You see what I'm saying? I can't manufacture that intimacy. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just something I don't understand. I've never seen it work. Yeah. I don't know what it means. So we up against the clock, fellas.
Oh yeah.
Time flies, man.
You having fun. Mirror time.
Yeah.
Take us out.
Oh, okay. Let's get to the mirror time. Okay. For this deal breaker, sometimes the best way to be happy is learning to let go of things you tried hard to hold on to that are no longer, working for you. And I'll leave you guys with that as my mirror time for today.
Nice one.
All right.
That's what's up. Hey, yo, for y'all who ain't know who Tidra Moses is, we're going to take y'all out with some.
Oh!
Y'all got to put some respect on my girl's name, man.
Yes, you do.
Here we go.
Sparring minds.
You already know.
Mr.
Mother's Day menus coming up.
Oh, yeah. All forked up catering.
Absolutely. Go check them out.
Yeah. It's good. It was getting dark out here.
Chuck, you gotta listen to this album, yo. It's cool.
Tell me what you know about. Tell me what you know about. You ain't loving so sweet, no beat, just a you. Tell me what you know about. Tell me what you know about. You ain't I put you out, take you back, 'cause baby, it's a love affair.